Titles, go.
Have I always been here?
Crunchy steak.
Kelly's magic bullet.
Call me Cleetus?
Vacation.
Exploding plants.
Impress yourself today.
That's the same rules as an orgy.
Golf review?
Iron Claw.
What I told him. But all right. Let's do this.
All right.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Corbs. I'm Gav.
I'm Jack.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
Oh, well, I'll talk about bad stuff later. I'm excited because getting a new phone tomorrow. My wife and I are switching over to Google Fi, which I've been looking at for a long time. But
Good
you
luck.
know, the last time I looked, they didn't have the coverage that they do now.
You still use T-Mo.
T-Mo's got great coverage in Syracuse, so
Not outside of Syracuse. I know you don't go outside of Syracuse much,
yeah.
but
We didn't even have to switch to Fi. That wasn't the big thing. The big thing was we haven't had new phones, and like I've bought new phones that were used phones, but you know I haven't had a brand new phone in about a decade since I was at the Verizon store. And even back then, all of Damara's phones were phones that I got from the store, so they were all used. So she doesn't think she's had a new phone since her LG 8300 flip phone,
Wow.
the gray tank. So she got an iPhone 15 today. I have a Google Pixel 8 Pro coming tomorrow. Excited to have, new phones. They support the whole MagSafe thing, which is really cool. That's something that, didn't exist the last time I got a new phone. And, we're doing the whole financing thing. You know what's funny? If Apple finances your phone and Google finances your phone, you don't pay any interest. They just
Nice.
split up the cost of the phone.
Just
which
break
I
it up
didn't know.
over the...
Yeah. The other thing is with her phone, she's trading in her old iPhone because, technically it works, though she has trouble keeping, connections going. But they're giving us some money off the bill for that. And my phone, my OnePlus 8, I don't have to trade that in. But because of the new pre-order Google 8 promo, I'm getting like $500 off a $1,000 phone. It's going to be over the course of the contract in discounts. But once I figured it all out, once all is said and done, our service will be $10 less per month. We're going to have a shit ton more data and everything to use and features than we've ever had with Page Plus. And it's $10 for the base charge, but after you add the discounts and everything, it's really only going to be like an extra $20 a month. So not a bad deal
for two brand new phones.
Yeah, pretty excited about that.
Outstanding.
All right. So next week, I'm finally going on this Washington, D.C. trip with Emily that I've been talking about. Last week, it finally came through. I've been waiting over a year for it. And it was actually kind of exciting. A private, just Emily and I are going to get a tour with the White House with just a tour guide, which is pretty cool. We've been waiting for a year for that. So also, John Katko is my parents' neighbor. And he says, maybe it's a possibility you might get to meet the president too. So I'm like, okay, so that'll be interesting. So being a big history buff, I've met already 2 presidents in my lifetime. It'll be kind of cool meeting a third. But it's kind of cool though. We get down there Wednesday. We planned it all out, so we see the monuments. Thursday we have White House, Capitol private tour, and a private Ford's Theater tour as well, where Lincoln was shot, which is neat. And then Friday we have the Smithsonian, and then the Library of Congress, which is pretty impressive. The thing that really Emily wanted to see was the botanical gardens. So these are gardens that are acres and acres long. So we're gonna go see that on Saturday with the Holocaust Museum. We got a private tour for that as well, which is pretty interesting. And then we come back Sunday, but before we come back Sunday, we're gonna stop in Arlington Cemetery, which will be really fun to see. Very informative. So we're gonna this vacation. Yes, it's a vacation, but we planned everything out and looked at hundreds of restaurants. She really likes ramen, so we found a ramen restaurant, a pizza restaurant, and a Mexican restaurant. So like 3 different types of restaurants that we really want to see, because Washington DC, they go from French food to English food to all sorts of food. Like it's like I just want a fucking burger, but like no, you can get like something like fish and chips. It's like fuck. So like, I can get oysters, which aren't bad, but I got there's a place called Bullfrog's Bagels, which you can get like a sausage, egg, and cheese. They say it's one of the best ever. So I'm like, okay. Good coffee, good Airbnb. We're like 2 blocks away from the White House, which is nice. So it's a very nice, and I'll be honest with you guys, it was really affordable. $600 for 4 nights. So I don't know how.
Including fees?
Yeah, I booked this over a year
shit.
ago. I know. I literally like dad proof this. I planned everything out to the T, which is perfect. So we have some nice fun road playlists going for music. If you guys along the way, if you want to throw one in. So I'm excited to do this. So 6-hour drive, and also being an Eagles fan, Corbs will like this. When we come up though, we're gonna stop in Philly and get a cheesesteak on the way home.
There you go.
Outstanding.
There you go. That's my man right there.
Absolutely. So it'll be fun. Maybe I'll call you from location next week if we get settled in. But I'm excited. It'll be good to get away for a little bit.
I wouldn't.
No,
Dude, enjoy your time
Yep.
away, man.
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
worry about the podcast. We'll carry on. But I do
Alright.
have one question, Jack. Come back. I
What's up?
noticed you called it a vacation. Is that because like this is one of those vacations where you know you're not going to get laid because you're doing all this nerdy shit?
Oh, you gotta find a way to get laid in there somewhere, man. So it's a full house for an Airbnb. Like I said, $600. It's they call them the super users. So this guy gave me already the address. It's in a good location. So, but yes, there is a lot of stuff we gotta do that's nerdy. But at night, there's a lot of free time too.
I just had to get in the vacation because I heard you say that. I immediately wrote it down, so I had to work that in.
No, I get it.
I'm I mean, she might be too worn out for you because you said if one of us wants to throw one in, I'm sure Kevin's up for that.
Yeah, but then I fucking hate y'all. And look, Kevin's just not saying that. Oh, now he's gonna say something. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, we know who's not getting laid.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't
That is the
know.
guy
He
that's
said he might
walking
get to
away.
meet Biden, so
Yeah, that's
So he's
I
gonna
know we're
get
not-
fucked.
Yeah, I might come back. I'm like, yeah, and I met Joe Biden. Fuck.
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing. Don't get too disappointed about this. If you do meet him now and then run into him later, he's probably not going to remember you.
It's awesome.
Did you guys like not to get political real quick? Did you see
Oh,
the other
shit.
day? They literally had to put him next to the podium. Like, okay, Joe, over here. He's like, oh right. That's all I got.
Corbs, before this gets any more political, please go.
Well, for me, it's I guess it's kind of a bit of both. So I know I haven't recorded for a while with you guys. I think it's been what? I know we didn't record last.
84 years.
Yeah. So
84 years.
I want to say. So there's a couple of things. Two weeks ago, my son's computer shit the bed. Like wouldn't even boot up. You'd push the power button, it would come up, flash the Dell symbol, and then the cursor would spin. And that was it. It wouldn't go any farther. So took the computer apart, pulled the hard drive out, put the hard drive in my computer, and plugged it in, hooked it all back up, plugged it back in, did the exact same thing. So I took my hard drive, put it in his computer, and it said no bootable device. Actually, when I put his in mine, it said no bootable device found. What the fuck is this? OS upgrade detected.
Is your computer shit in the bed too?
Yeah, my
bro?
computer's about to shit the bed. So, so
It's like- yes.
come to find out, the motherboard crapped out for his computer. So we had to buy I bought him a brand new laptop, gaming laptop. So that's the good side of it. The bad side of it is it costs, $1,300.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I told him we were going to buy him a new one, he actually offered to chip in half the money. Because I give him money every week. Every 2 weeks, put money in his account for him, so he has money when he goes out with his friends.
Right.
So, but he can't take it to get money out. He's got to go to the bank to take it out. That's the way I set up his account. So he doesn't have a debit card. He can't just run to the bank and get money whenever he feels like it, or if we're going out or whatever. So we had to go to the bank to take money out, and so that we did that. We took the money out of his account, put it in my account, and then I paid for it out of my account. So it arrived last Wednesday. As you guys know, Wednesday last week was a good day for me.
Yeah.
So I'll explain that one too, because that was pretty messed up. So his laptop came on Wednesday. I made sure it was in there. I made sure it wasn't damaged or anything like that. But I let him open it and set it up and all that stuff. So we did that. I also bought him a docking station so that he could hook up two monitors. He could have hooked it up 2 monitors up to his laptop, but I bought the docking station because it's easier to put the monitors in the docking station. So we have the docking station. We just have to set up his room now. So we're gonna do that this weekend. I have 2 power strips back there that he got his monitors and his computer, which he doesn't need anymore, but like all of his gaming stuff is plugged into it. But they're just a little bit off the floor, so they hang a little bit and they pull on the cords. So what I'm gonna do is mount a couple of 2x4s to the wall, and then mount the power strips to the 2x4s.
That's correct.
Yep.
So
we're gonna.
So you're already writing off your security deposit then?
Oh, that's just been gone for a while.
Okay.
But yeah, I mounted my TV. My TV and his TV.
Fill it in. You just
exactly.
Get a little
Toothpaste.
tub of fucking putty,
Putty,
and you fill it in,
or
and you
little Flex Seal or whatever, and fill it in, and I'll be fine. I'm not
shit.
worried about it. So so that's the one thing. Like I said, last Wednesday was supposed to be a bad day for me. I took the day off from work, and you guys know I told you guys I wasn't going to be able to record because I was supposed to have a tooth pulled. So what happened was Sunday night I was having steak, of all things, and I bit into a piece of steak and it was crunchy. And I'm like, okay, well, steak's not supposed to be crunchy, first of all. So I kind of pulled out the piece that was crunchy and it was white. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it was something that I had in the steak or whatever. So I took another bite of steak and the same thing happened. So I felt with my tongue, my back molar had broken. It had cracked a little bit and some of the pieces had fallen off.
bitch.
Fuck.
So yeah, so that was Sunday night. So I called Monday morning to my dentist, or to the dentist office. I go to Aspen Dental. I can't call it the dentist. I made an appointment to have an extraction because I don't do root canals. Root canal costs you like $1,500. To have it extracted, it's like $300. So you guys have seen my mouth. I've already had 5 teeth pulled. What's a 6th? That's the way I look at it. What's a 6th?
Well, you're approaching a new nickname. We're going to call you Cleetus if you keep it up. But.
You're a hockey player now, there, champ.
Soon I'm gonna have just 1 tooth, and then I'll be officially be a redneck.
So who's gonna chew Corbs' food in the future?
I think Kelly signed up for that shit.
That's why I got the magic bullet.
The Magic Bullet podcast name.
You got a magic bullet for Kelly? Oh, wait, those are 2 different things. Never mind.
I love it.
Very true. So Wednesday morning, I took the day off from work because Wednesday morning I was supposed to go to the eye doctor and have my eyes dilated so they could check the pressure in my eyes and get a shot in my eye. So I showed up to the eye doctor. So I showed up to the eye doctor Wednesday morning and like, oh, we're not dilating your eyes today. We're just going to give you the shot in the eye. I'm like, okay. When I talked to you guys on Monday, it was you were going to dilate my eyes. What's changed in 2 days? Like, oh, the doctor can't do it today. He's got something going on. I'm like, well, it's nice to fucking know. But I'm along for the ride, whatever. So I had the shot in my eye. And my sister who was home last week, has been home since the end of September because she had gastric bypass surgery. So she drove me to the eye doctor's appointment, and then was going to drive me home because, as you guys know, when you get your eyes dilated, you can't see shit. So I had to have a chauffeur. So didn't have to get my eyes dilated. I assumed I was going to come home and go back to sleep off the dilation, and then get up and drive to the eye doctor. Well, since I didn't have the eye dilation, couldn't go to sleep because I was wide awake. And I started thinking, which is never a good thing. And at about 2:00, I had an anxiety attack, which I've never had before.
Oh, fuck.
I was hyperventilating, just freaking out in the bathroom about having my tooth pulled because at the time it didn't hurt anymore. I have a filling in it, and it's filled in, and that's keeping food from getting down into my tooth. So there's no pain right now. So I started freaking out, thinking, do I really need to have the tooth pulled? And so I called and canceled because I couldn't, I had to call my mom to come. She had to talk to me on the phone to calm me down. That's how bad it had gotten. So that was Wednesday. What else happened last week? That's the bad things. I was in a golf tournament on Sunday, last one of the year, and we finished in third. And we won one of the skins at the golf tournament and won some money.
Nice.
So that was pretty nice. That's the first time we played in a golf tournament where we've actually won skins. I've been in a golf tournament where we won the 50-50, which was nice, but never won skins. And this was actually held at our golf golf course, Northern Pines. It was their last tournament of the year. It's called the NFL tournament. So we had, everybody comes dressed like you wear your NFL jerseys, you support your team. They have the clubhouse open, they have the pavilion open, they have football games on. They've got bar food like chicken wings and chili and stuff, mac and cheese, stuff like that for food after. And then they obviously the winners get I want to say they get something like a clubhouse credit. We got a clubhouse credit for finishing in third, so that we can use for anything for the course. So if we join back next year, which it looks like we're going to, I have an $80 credit on my account that I can use towards anything: golf balls, golf glove, or drinks on the course, anything like that. So that was pretty nice. So, and then tomorrow, or Thursday, I should say, we start cornhole back at Northern Pines again. So
Nice.
that'll be nice. So we're doing that. So that's all I got.
Outstanding.
Well, I've had a ton of shit happen in the past couple of weeks, and come to find out, not being around you guys allows me to have a lot of fun.
Love you, Kev.
Wow. Man, that's a kick in the nuts right there.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 hours on one night, man.
It actually one has nothing to do with the other, but it's just funny that so much has happened in the last couple of weeks. Last weekend was last 2 weekends have been the very first 2 snowmobile shows of the season. So the one in Syracuse, went to that, of course, had to go see what was going on there. And then we went to the one up in New Hampshire, which was a lot of fun. Kathy and I and a friend of ours went and had a good time there. The cool thing about the one in New Hampshire, I mean, other than the fact that it was a snowmobile show and we got to see some great sleds and see some old friends and reconnect with some folks in the industry that I've known for a few years. Before that, the company or the law firm that Paul and I work for had a retreat for their associates, and it is basically a fluff session for the associates to try to get them excited to stay with the firm, to give them an idea of where they can go with the firm and how there really is no limits to what they can do with the firm. They can just continue to work there. They can get to where they want to go, and they can eventually be partner if they so desire. The time they put in, the things they work on, All of that information is available to them, unlike it is in a lot of other places. So it was really, like I said, it was a fluff session to get them to understand what was available to them. So that was fun and good, and it was informative for me because I didn't know any of that. I don't have anything to do with the attorneys. But this was in Schenectady. Now, when I say that, your first thought might be, why the fuck would anybody want to go to Schenectady? My thought too. But Rivers Casino is a relatively new place in Schenectady. It's right along the river. Nice little river walk. And there's a whole bunch of new construction and business and entertainment all along this area. But I found myself after the first day with these people out for a walk on the river, the river walk there, and I found my way down to an older section of town, and I come out onto some the city streets there, the back streets, and there's a couple of corner bars. Well, this one is kind of calling to me, and I can't think of the name of it. I could probably find it if I looked on a map, but so I go in and I sit down, and it's small. This place is just the smallest little tavern you've ever seen. Nice inside though, just exactly what you'd think of an old corner tavern. I go in, older guy behind the counter, big guy, he's friendly, serves me, no problem. I'm sitting there. Folks are talking about things that are going on, and guy next to me starts, talking about different stuff, and I find myself involved in a couple of conversations. One of them happened to be about how in Schenectady there's a bridge that's 10 foot 10 inches of clearance, and they constantly get trucks wedged underneath it, regardless of all the signs that are there to prevent this from happening. So I immediately think, well, they must be talking about Liverpool. So I say, is this local? Is this here? Or are you guys talking about the one in Liverpool? He goes, oh no. He goes, I know you guys got one in Syracuse. He goes, no, this is right here. It was hilarious. The conversation that ensued was just fucking hilarious. How stupid people are. To be, this is exactly what I mean, to be a local in Syracuse and to follow a truck that is obviously oversized right on his bumper as they hit the fucking bridge. The woman in that car deserved everything that happened to her car after that. How can you be that freaking clueless and not know what the hell was coming? Anyway, regardless. So it just felt like as I'm sitting there, and this was just a really cool thing. As I'm sitting there talking to these guys, I'm just like, have I always been here? Is this what is this place? It was like stepping into a freaking portal in the Twilight Zone. I all of a sudden felt like I belonged there. It was cool as shit. I got pretty well trashed. Walked back to the hotel. They had their cocktail hour that night, so I go. I get more drinks, this time free food, the whole bit. Totally not dressed for the cocktail hour because everybody was getting, top dress for that. Whatever. Here I am in a t-shirt, shorts, and sneakers. So I had some stuff and I just left. But anyway, so great weekend, just a great fucking weekend. And that was just this last weekend. It's just been like that over and over and over again. I can't even tell you. The events that have been going on, the places Kathy and I have been going. Oh, I got one other thing for you. A really funny thing happened here at the end of the summer. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so I haven't had a chance to tell you this. So we struggled. We have a garden on our deck, so it's a container garden, right? So we put some vegetable plants in some containers, and the plants struggled this year. The soil was kind of sandy, so I was kind of frustrated with it, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing wrong. So I got a bright idea. I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's just water them, extra water. We take the water can out because I've got a watering system. I've got a drip watering system. We're going to water them, and every other day we're going to fertilize. Holy crap. The plants just fucking exploded. So really it was a deficiency problem in the soil. End of the season, our plants are doing better than they did all season. jalapenos, cherry peppers, sweet peppers. I got green and red sweet peppers. I got cherry tomatoes, and the cherry tomatoes, I'm telling you, they're huge. And Roma tomatoes, and strawberries. I got 2 strawberry plants, and I got these 2 hanging pots of petunias down by the mailbox. Everything bounced back. So I've got a completely different plan for next year. We're waiting for the frost to kill off what we have, but hopefully we'll get a few more vegetables off of what we have. So it's been a really cool time. And I know this has nothing to do with, tech and sci-fi and geeks and all that stuff, but that's the kind of stuff that's got me geeked right now. There's been some great weekends, and we had a great finish to the year with our vegetable plants. So there you go.
All right. Mine's not quite as long. I'm super psyched because today, which is October 11th, for those of you guys watching when this finally gets released, the trailer finally dropped for The Iron Claw. Have any of you guys gotten to see this yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, I think it just happened like late this afternoon. So,
What
people
is
had shit
it?
going on. The Iron Claw is the true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers who made history. I gotta scroll over because I'm screen down. Who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. Comes out December 22nd. Looks like they're taking it very, very seriously. If you're not like a not really golden age, I guess golden age for us, right, Hugh, because that'd be like for when we were little, of professional wrestling. Like, they were professional wrestling royalty before that was something they got thrown around. Yes, it stars Zac Efron with a He-Man haircut, but
He bulked up though, I heard for it.
he
too.
looks like
Yeah.
he should be playing He-Man, like between the
Perfect.
fucking page boy haircut and the fact that he's ripped. But I watched it shortly before we started recording, and it looks like they're taking it very seriously. It looks like it's going to be a phenomenal movie. Again, being, embraced into the world of professional wrestling since before I can remember because of my dad. These are guys that I've known of my whole life. Like, these are legends in pro wrestling. That's so, and just to see in the trailer, like, you can see all the beats they're hitting, and they're not shying away from any of the fucked up shit that happened. And I am ridiculously excited to go see this movie.
When does
like-
it release? Like, when's it come out?
Let me reiterate, that'll be December 22nd.
Christmas. Okay.
Oh, sounds like a Christmas movie.
Yes, but I know this. This is I'm more excited for this than I was for Clerks 3.
The way you're talking about it, I'm
Wow.
definitely.
Yeah,
I don't believe that for a second. And he's got an interesting haircut. I've got some pictures of him for the role.
No, I've been following this role for a while because Zac Efron really says he wants to take this very seriously. So maybe he could win an Oscar or something for it.
I don't know if you'll ever see a wrestling. Well, how did the
wrestler
wrestler
with Mickey
do?
Rourke.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah. I had to stop myself there. I forgot about that one. I saw that one in the theater too. That was cool. But that's I'm gonna. And show notes is gonna have a link to the trailer, and I can't wait for that one. But we can move it right on there, guys. What?
I forgot something, and I have to tell you this because you guys might have some funny shit to say about it. You know that Prime is doing a big sale yesterday and today right now.
Yep.
I happened to see while scrolling through the Lifestraw for $9.99. For those of you that don't know what this is, the Lifestraw is kind of a survival tool that you can use to, basically drink from any water source without boiling it. It can filter 4,000 gallons of water. Anyway, I saw it and I realized that, wait, let me look at this. For years, I've been wanting to put together a bug out bag. I finally put together a bug out bag. It's all here. I had some of the stuff, but I wanted to have something that I could put in the car. I'm not a doomsday prepper, but with all the shit going on in the world, you never know what's going to happen. So things like a solar power bank, which I'm not even going to use until we actually need it. Maybe it'll never get used, but I would hate to get a measly like $40-ish you know, if my family ends up getting stuck out in the wilderness or having to take off, I mean, we'll survive at least a few weeks. You know, we're not going to die immediately. Go ahead, Kev. You're laughing.
No,
You don't think
I
that's a good idea?
I got nothing to say.
No, it's smart. Like literally, my dad's been stocking up on bullets and freeze dried meals for like years. He's like, we're gonna be ready when this shit happens.
That's a little more than I want to get. I'm just like, even you get in a car wreck while driving through the Adirondacks and you fall, you go off the road or something, and you've got nothing. You know, I mean, it's not like I think the world's gonna end, but
it's a very good idea to keep a bag in your car that has a couple of bottles of water, some packaged food of some sort, a blanket, some dry clothes. It's a very, very, very good idea. Very good idea. Everybody should have that.
He is not wrong. Yeah, that's I think mine isn't so far as like extra clothes and bottles of water, but I've got like those fucking solar reflector blankets and shit and all that, all the like the kits that you can buy for the car specifically.
Yeah,
like the
might even have some
roadside
MREs in it. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah, like
I
a
mean,
roadside kit too.
If you can just put in like a pair of wind pants and a sweatshirt, just so you can take off. Let's say you have wet clothes, get rid of them, put that on. Now you've got wind barrier and some warmth. That's all you really need. A couple pair of socks. But you don't need much.
man, I don't even have socks.
at
You
all.
got you got your Crocs.
Well, just think about it though. I mean, if your feet are wet and they're in a wet shoe of some sort, then you're going to have problems after a couple days, and those problems will create other problems. So dry feet are incredibly important. Anyway, I'm not gonna. That's not what we're here for.
All right, so I'll try again, guys. What are you playing?
Nothing.
Well, I wanted to talk about how I bought Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I played through the first few hours of it, and it is a pretty good game. It feels like a cross between the older games and the newer ones, less RPG elements. Stealth is more important. But something happened the past few days that's kind of overshadowed my gaming. I went back to playing fucking COVID. I went back to playing Starfield. Video gaming is giving me motion sickness. Today I confirmed it. Yesterday I played Starfield for about an hour. I thought I was going to throw up when we went to pick up Avery. I had to take a Zofran, bought some ginger ale at the store. I felt fucking awful. Today I literally played for 10 minutes and had to go upstairs and lay down.
Tell me about your environment. How are you doing this? Like, how are you playing? Why is it giving you?
I put a big TV back here. So I've got a really big TV. Here's the thing though. I have like 50 hours in Starfield over the past month and a half. And I've had no issues until the past 2 days. It's fucked up. I don't know what's going on. So I'm worried that it might be a health thing, or is there a point at which you get so old you can't play video games anymore? Because I need to throw myself off a tall building if that's the case. Well, I don't know, man. I'm just like today I took a 45-minute nap, got up, then we had to go to the swim meet, and I'm sitting in the swim meet trying not to throw up. We stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. I have to grab onto Damara because I just about fell over. I got so dizzy. I'm fine now, but it sucks.
And
Doesn't sound like a video game problem. Sounds more like a Hugh problem.
And we don't think this could be after effects from the vid.
I think that's
maybe
pretty likely.
I don't know, but it only happens when I start playing video games. Now, in fairness, it's only happened when playing Starfield, so I'll have to try going back to AC Mirage and see if it happens.
Well, you just said that. I mean, it carried over to other things, so I don't think that that's what it is. I think it's, you have an inner ear disturbance of some sort, and it's probably more than likely caused by whatever virus or whatever thing that's still inside that's trying to, that's getting fought off by your body.
Maybe.
Right. Personal opinion.
Yeah, man.
I hope you're right. I really do.
And
Thanks,
since you have
Patrick.
COVID, I'd appreciate if you put a mask on. Thank you.
I had COVID. I still have the cough.
Lingering cough, yeah.
Well, I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Boner's
Bear-
Gate 3?
Bear sex?
Boners gate.
No
That's
bear
good.
sex. I did walk in on a bugbear railing an overweight ogre though. That
It's close.
That's really fucked up.
Close.
Why
I
is that
even
game so
tried to
thirsty?
apologize for walking in on them, and the fat ogre chick decided she was going to attack me, so I had to massacre them both. So
You
Massacre
had to
two ogres having
masturbate them
sex.
both?
Did the bugbear swing his massive penis at you?
he didn't get a chance to do anything. I annihilated that fucker.
The
Yeah.
bear
So
or
is-
his penis?
So you killed two things having sex? You're a fucking mean
They
bastard.
stopped. They stopped when I interrupt them, but yeah.
So
You
you're hurting
interrupted
people
them.
having sex.
Yes. I burst
then
right
killed
into
them.
the and then murdered them. Yep. But hey, I'm
But
the
no-
good guy here. And somehow I
Well,
didn't break my oath as
That's the humane thing
paladin.
to do, is to kill them both. If you just killed one of them, then the other one is just,
Right.
upset for-
Unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I hope
Uh,
this doesn't become a theme in other parts of your life.
Right, kill. But I am 70 hours into this game now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And I'm about to start Act 2, where it advances me into the Cursed Lands, which means I'm not going to be out in the area I'm familiar with now. So I'm tying up loose ends in all the lower areas where I have now figured out I missed shit. So I've gone back and done all that. We got my cool mithril armor. I figured out that part. And I'm gonna wrap it up, and I'm hopefully by this weekend I'm gonna jump into Act 2 and keep progressing the story, because this is really fucking cool. So
Where are you doing this? Because I know you're not in the basement anymore.
oh fuck no. Before all of that happened, I moved the PlayStation up to the living room.
Perfect.
So forethought. And that
Before
worked out
all-
very well for Kylie, because now the Switch is in Kylie's bedroom.
All the what happened?
Not sure I want to go into it online on the
Okay.
show. Remind me, we'll go into it. So
Paul's future divorce.
Oh shit.
Moving on from that though, where are we at? Time check. Okay.
Time to go.
So Corbs, I'm assuming you're not playing any video games.
That's correct, sir.
All right. And judging from the fact that my PlayStation account doesn't have anything else on it, I know Kevin's not playing any video games.
I haven't
So,
even turned it on in a while.
so I think that means it's time for Kev's tabletop review.
Okay, so Kathy and I were in the mall the other day, and I came across the game at one of the game stores that I had to dive pretty deep into. And when I say I have spent hours watching playthroughs of this game, I am not even joking. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. What I'm talking about is Exit the Game. Have any of you guys heard of this?
Seen it, yeah.
Okay.
No.
This is a tabletop card-based escape room game. So there's now I took a picture and I gotta count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There was 15 boxes on the shelf. Some of these boxes have multiple games in the box. They consist of clues, puzzles, solution calculators, maps, things you can't open until particular times when you're told to open them. You can't, it's very hard to find video walkthroughs or playthroughs of these, because they give away the clues, right? They give away the solutions. I found a couple of people that actually do this. They actually play through and show you how to solve the different puzzles. It is fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. What drew me to this wasn't the fact that there were so many different versions of this. What drew me was that on the boxes, on the front of the boxes, at the bottom left of the box, is a little indicator of 1 to 5 stars about how difficult that particular game is. Now, originally I thought, okay, this is a game and it has all these expansions. Oh no. Every box is its own game. Be warned, as you play through, you will have to destroy part of this game in order to solve the puzzles. You may have to cut something up, you may have to fold something up, you may have to light it on fire, but the only way to solve these puzzles is to do whatever it tells you to do. This is the most fascinating thing I have ever seen as far as a tabletop game is concerned. From $15 up to 20 some dollars, I think I've seen these games go for, and $25 was for a twofer. So in one box it had 2 different things. Fascinating, absolutely enthralling. If you want to go on YouTube, look up Exit the Game Playthrough, find Dr. Gareth Moore, Moore, and watch a playthrough he has with Laura for the Sinister Mansion. It's going to ruin one game for you, okay? So you just don't buy that game. Watch the playthrough and just tell me that it isn't an extremely interesting thing, right? So I'm absolutely fascinated. I want to get a couple of these, and I want to sit down and play with a few people because they're not easy. And this is totally different from what I normally pick for a tabletop game. This is not something that is you're gonna pick right up on it. You're not gonna open this up and go, oh yeah, it's easy to learn, whatever. No, you're gonna spend an hour to 2 hours ripping this thing apart, trying to figure this out. And I'm telling you, it is totally worth it. You got to look this up. Exit the Game. I'll tell you a little bit about what just talk about the Sinister Mansion. Okay, we'll just use that one as an example. 1 to 4 players. They played it with 2 people. I think you really want to get 4 people in on this. You want to get as many people as possible. 45 to 90 minute playing time. That's bullshit. You're looking at least 2 hours. Age 12 and up. Yeah, okay. So maybe there's a 12-year-old out there that can figure out some of these clues. Okay, maybe. Weight 2.54 out of 5. Now, this is for a game that's actually marked 3 out of 5 on their difficulty scale. The majority of these games on BoardGameGeek.com are in the 2.4 to 2.6 range out of 5 for difficulty. And like I say, pricing is like $15, like 14 and change, up to as much as $24, $25. Even though you're only going to open it up, and you're only going to play it once, because once you play through it, you're basically ruining the clues for the next people that play. It's perfectly fine. You want this game. You want to check this out. You want to try one of these. It is going to just blow your absolute freaking mind. Classification, type, thematic. So it's theme based. It's based on whatever the different games are. And I'll read a couple of the titles of the games. Category, deduction. So you have to use deductive reasoning to figure this out. It's a cooperative game. The mechanism is cooperative. Family category is escape room games. Series, Exit the Game. This particular theme is spooky old houses. So let me just read you some of the titles. Can I zoom in on this? Yeah. The Sinister Mansion, The Forbidden Castle, Dead Man on the Orient Express, The Gate Between Worlds, Haunted Roller Coasters, Cemetery of the Night, The Secret Lab, Shadows Over Middle Earth, The Stormy Flight, and they just go on from there. I'm telling you what, this is, like I say, and I know I've said this a couple of times, this is very interesting. It is very intriguing. I have never seen anything like this, and I am very interested in trying one of these out. So there you go. Exit the game. Find one at your local game shop. Pick one up that sounds interesting and just try it out. I don't think you will be disappointed.
You know, Kev, they have Android games too. There are 2 of them.
Really?
Yes, I own one of them. I haven't actually played it yet. I picked it up on a sale, but you might want to look it up. It's by USM Games. They also make the Android version of Catan.
Oh, wow. See, that might be very interesting because that could be something that probably isn't this destructive because I'm sure you don't have to destroy your phone.
I certainly fucking hope not.
Very, very cool. Thanks for that, Hugh. That's an interesting little twist. Have any of you guys played Exit the game at all? Have seen it?
No.
Well, I'm glad to bring something new and different to you guys. So, or at least partially new. So yeah, Exit the game. Let's give it a shot.
All right. Well, I think that's a good time to throw it right to break. Stick with us, guys. We'll be back with the news. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore. Located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking, Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Hi, this is Craig Palmer. If you ever aspire to be a wrestler, come on down to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, located at 1121 Glenwood Ave in United, New York. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 p.m. till 9 p.m. Come on down and join us. See you then.
Now, before I tell you that Matt Getz looks like he could play both Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin with no prosthetics, and you can never get that image out of your head again, here's the news. First up, fuck you, Barry. While it might be up for debate if Aquaman has sexy time with fish, he certainly isn't with his Aquaman 2 co-star Amber Heard. This week, a report from Variety states that Jason Momoa showed up on set late, drunk, and dressed like Johnny Depp to harass Amber Heard and get her to quit. This is according to Amber Heard, and only Amber Heard. She also claimed that the director, James Wan, was mean to her as well. This led to multiple sources claiming that Wan is known for treating his film crews with the utmost respect, and this movie was no different. Sources also said Momoa works his ass off and never shows up with anything less than his A game. They also said that Momoa has been dressing in that bohemian style for years, and it has nothing at all to do with Johnny Depp. It would be pretty fucking strange to cosplay as your co-star's ex to bully her. I mean, I know we're supposed to believe women, but since she has a proven history of not telling the truth, I gotta say I'm a little bit more than skeptical. But the most shocking thing to come out of this, if you can believe it, wasn't all of that. It's that in 2018, Warner Brothers sent notice to her lawyers that they weren't bringing her back for the sequel due to lack of chemistry between her and Jason Momoa. So why did she end up in the sequel after all? Because her then boyfriend, Elon Musk, sent a message to Warner Brothers threatening to go scorched earth on them if they didn't bring her back. No wonder DC films have been struggling. Why the fuck is Elon Musk in charge of Warner Brothers casting decisions? Are we in stupid world? You won't listen to fans, consumers, viewers, reviewers, or creators, but you listen to the guy that decimated Twitter's value. It's like Elmer Fudd is really running the show over there. Next up, speaking of the same kind of crazy, Jada Pinkett Smith just revealed in an interview that her and Will Smith have been secretly separated for 7 years. So on top of the affair she revealed a while back that Will had to give his blessing to, apparently, they weren't even together when he slapped Chris Rock and put a huge black mark on his career. I can't understand that. One of the most successful actors and musicians in history, devoted enough to beat people up for her honor at the Oscars, even though they aren't actually together, and he's still not enough for her. I mean, you never know what really happens on the inside, but from all accounts, including hers, he seems to be a great guy, great enough that she can't bring herself to divorce him. She could at least stop publicly embarrassing him. I mean, it sure seems like he would never put her through the same drama she's dragged him through. And for the life of me, I cannot see what she brings to the table for this relationship other than August Alsinia's leftover DNA. And finally, we can't have a news segment without talking about the biggest news of the week. No funny title here. Israel has declared war on the terrorist group Hamas after a surprise attack over the weekend that left more people dead and taken hostage than I want to look up and share with you. I'm not going to go into details here, as this is not a black and white situation. Israel has done some awful shit to the Palestinian people since forming. Hamas has now done some more awful shit, and neither of them is fully justified. I just like to point out that if Israel had taken a stance of incorporating the people of the land they were taking over in 1948 instead, everyone there would look the same now and be at peace. This is a stupid conflict for stupid reasons that could have been avoided if everyone involved had been less stupid. And that's the news, kids. Now, having suffered through our second round of COVID here in the Allen household, I noticed something that really made me smile. Have you had a Hall's cough drop lately? I've had tons, and while I generally open the wrapper and toss it away without a single thought, for some reason I actually took a look at one recently. The wrappers have little messages on them, things like, "You can do it, nothing you can't handle, and impress yourself today." Maybe this has always been the case. But what a fantastic idea. Fortune cough drops. I need that motivational message when I feel like crap and just want to go back to bed. I don't need it after 5 plates of sushi, rice noodles, and motherfucking peanut butter chicken at the Chinese buffet. Unless they start putting fortunes in the cookies that say things like, "Stop eating so goddamn much, you fat ass," or "That could have fed a family of 4 for a week." Paul?
In other news, peanuts are cholesterol free. They are also one of the ingredients in Dynamite. Back to you, Corbs.
All right. Well, I'm gonna blow shit up with some peanut butter later.
Oh shit!
Motherfucking peanut butter chicken.
That's what I get when you have peanut butter. You get explosive shit after.
Slippery shit.
Oh boy. All right, so I guess we're going sports now, or as I like to call it, the golf review.
Oh, Jesus.
So it's been a couple weeks, obviously, since we've been on. So I'm going to talk about the Ryder Cup, which is the golf match between USA and Europe. So a few little things about it. This year's Ryder Cup was played in Rome, Italy, well, just north of Rome. It's a 3-day tournament pitting 12 players from USA versus 12 from Europe. It's played every other year. The players, there's 6 automatic bids for each team. Usually the top 6 guys qualify in points. Top 6 guys for Europe, top 6 guys for the Americans. And then there's 6 captains picks. There was some controversy this year with the USA pick. The last guy picked, Justin Thomas. He is outside of the top 70 in player points this year. So everybody was kind of up in arms with the fact that he was chosen. So there's a few guys that were left off the list that have been playing a lot better, and they felt that they deserved a spot. You need 14.5 points to win the cup. So if you're the team, so that if you have the cup, so let's say USA had the cup, if they get 14 points, they keep the cup because the most you can have both teams can have combined is 14. There's 28 points total. So to win the cup, you got to have 14 and a half, because you get half points if you tie a match. USA has won 19 of the last 28 Ryder Cups. USA has not won the Ryder Cup on European soil since 1993. So for them to be over there to try to win it was a big deal. Overall, over the course of the entire Ryder Cup, the United States is 29-16. So they're the better of the teams, but they won 7 straight cups from 1935 to 1955, and then won 13 straight from 1959 to 1983. With Europe only claiming 3 cups during that time. Europe has come back as of late, winning 10 of the last 15. So tournament structure, it's kind of weird. It's 3 days, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday and Saturday is 2 matches, so 2 sets. It's called 4-ball alternate shot. So one guy tees off, the next guy hits the next shot. And you do that all the way to the end of the hole, and then the guy who didn't tee off on the hole before tees off on the next hole. So basically what you do is one guy picks odd, one guy picks even. That guy always tees off in the odd. One guy tees off in the odd holes, the other guy tees off on the even holes, and then you alternate shots all the way through until you finish out the hole, and then go back to whatever the next hole is. So that's the morning
rules as an orgy, isn't it?
Pretty much. The afternoon session is, again, it's 4 players, two twosomes, and it's 4-ball best ball, which is the best score between the 2 players per team. You take the best score, and then you play that way. And then that's Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday is just straight match play. All 12 guys from each country play against each other. So there's one match. There's 12 matches, 1 versus 1, all the way through. So this year, after day 1, morning session, Europe jumped out to a 4-0 lead. They won all 4 matches in the morning session. The afternoon session, they continued to dominate. They won 2.5 to 1.5. So they're up 6.5 to 1.5 after day 1. Which is outrageous. It's very rarely do you get to that point. Day 2, after the morning session, again, Europe still blowing the US away. After the morning session, they were 9.5 to 2.5. We were down 7 points at that point. A bit of history that day was made. Scotty Scheffler and Brooks Koepka, 2 of the top players in the world, lost 9 and 7. So Europe had, after the 9th hole, they couldn't, the best they could do was a tie. So even if USA had won all 9 holes on the back, they would have had the match. They would have tied the match. So after the 10th hole, that match was over with. It's never happened ever in any of the tournaments. In the 96-year history of the tournament, nobody's ever lost that bad. And they're both with the USA. So that tells you that Europe was just absolutely kicking the shit out of us. So in the afternoon session, again, Europe continues to dominate us. They're at that point leading 10.5 to 5.5. So it was the best. That was the best that the US had done in any of the 4 matches for the first 2 days. They actually won 3 out of the 4 matches, and the other 2 matches they halved. So they actually, each of them matched, they each tied up, ended up with half a point. No team, so they were down 5 points at that point with 12 matches to go. Europe only needed to win 4 matches. USA needed to win 8 matches. No team has ever come back from that many points down in 96 years. So it was, the USA was up against a whole lot of shit going into that. It's been played for 96 years. They did not play during World War II. Didn't play for 8 straight years, 4 tournaments from 39 to 45. So So that's a bit of history that they didn't play for 8 years during World War II. They didn't play either side of the pond. They didn't play in the United States. They didn't play in Europe during that time, obviously because of the war. After day 3, they split all 6 matches in Europe and ended up winning the cup 16.5 to 11.5. So we got the shit kicked out of us. So that was a bit of so it's just there's a big stink about it. A lot of the guys, the USA guys didn't play leading up to the Ryder Cup. The European guys played. They all played in tournaments leading up the 3 weeks leading up. One or all of them played in one of the tournaments. Now they all played over in Europe. They all went over to Europe and played. USA did not do any of that stuff. They did not play at all. A lot of guys said that might have been some of the problem. They were a bit rusty. They hadn't played in about a month. So it is going to be played again in 2025. It'd be held back here in the United States. And guess who's going to try to go?
Sean Corbs.
Yeah, because it's going to be held in New York City.
That.
It's going to be held in New York City.
He said guess. I don't know.
You're smarter than that, Kev.
Right. So it's going to be held at the Bethpage Black, which is the hardest course in New York State. So the group of guys that I play with, one of us, like me and my Justin, my best friend, you guys all, I talk about Justin all the time when we about golf. We're talking about going to that. That's the one thing we want to go to. That and the U.S. Open. I think the year after that, the U.S. Open is going to be held in New York City also. So we're talking about trying to get to that too. And then 2 years after that, it's going to be held back in New York City. So we're going to be one of those 2 years when it's here in New York City, we're going to go to the U.S. Open.
There's a golf course in New York City?
Yep. It's out on Long Island.
Oh.
It's not in the actual city. I should.
Okay.
It's
in
a Long
Long
Island.
I'm like, because I have never seen Spider-Man swing over a golf course ever in any movie.
It's through
or
the
comic
subway.
book.
Yeah. It's Subway
Oh.
Pizza Shop. All that.
Yes, yeah. So it's out on Long Island. There's a couple of golf courses out on Long Island that are pretty popular. Bethpage is one. Shinnecock Hills, which is where the U.S. Open is going to be held in 2026, and then the other one is going to be held in Wingfoot, which is the north end of the Bronx. It's towards the very top of the Bronx, Yonkers area. It's actually like 15 minutes from the border of Connecticut. So that like I said, we're definitely going to try to go to the Ryder Cup, but the U.S. Open is something that I'd like to at least get to one day, because I've been to the Masters and the PGA Championship, which is 2 out of the 4 majors. U.S. Open would be the 3rd, and the 4th one is across the pond. It's the British Open, so that's going to be kind of a pipe dream, but hopefully at some point. A little bit more history is going to be made this weekend. Lexi Thompson, she's a female golfer on the LPGA. She actually got invited to play in the men's tournament this weekend. She is one of only 7 women ever to be asked to play in a men's tournament. So that's pretty big for her, for the golf in general. A lot of the women golfers think that they need to have better coverage of the women's golf. I don't disagree with that. I enjoy watching the women golf. They play a lot better golf than the guys. The guys just hit the ball a shit ton and then try to make up their mistakes by hitting a nice shot. The women actually play golf the way weekend golfers play. You have to hit to certain spots. So it's nice to watch. And yes, you.
When a woman plays in the men's tournament, do they pay her 75% as much?
Usually.
Oh, good.
And she has to make the cut to get paid too. So that's it for golf for me. I know one of the last topics that we had, Kev, we talked about injuries in the NFL, about major knee injuries and stuff like that. I did a little research. This year alone, there has been, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 major injuries to players. So you've had J.K. Dobbins tore his Achilles tendon. Everybody knows Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon. Jack Conklin is an offensive lineman, tore his ACL. Cade Stern is a safety, I believe. He tore his ACL. Mike Bolano last weekend, broken fibula, torn ACL. Tre'Davious White for the Bills, Milano's for the Bills. Tre'Davious White also Bills tore his Achilles. This has all been in the season.
Was that the guy that did it? He was going back or something. He didn't even get hit. No, some guy did it something this past week where he didn't even get hit. He was just setting up or something, and down he goes.
It might have been. It very well might have been Tre'Davious White. It happened. I think it might have happened 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Tavon Diggs, he's with the Cowboys, tore his ACL. Mike Williams, receiver for the Chargers, tore an ACL. I mean, so you had asked about, how significant some of these injuries are. That's just a list of guys I went through in the past 12 hours. That's all we're talking 5 weeks, and you've already had 11 guys with major knee injuries and ankle injuries.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Achilles tendon or an ACL, they're out for the season.
Out for the season, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the guys that have been hurt in season. I went through and found a couple of guys that actually had gotten hurt preseason in preseason games, and guys that have gotten hurt during like voluntary workouts in July when there was no contact. So, I mean, it does happen, but 11 injuries in 5 weeks like that, we were talking about, how often it happens. Obviously, you're looking at least 1 or 2 a week.
Sure.
Jack?
Corbs, who was the guy that plays for the Lions? Like, it's a 12 to 18 month injury when you tear an ACL. Last year, he tore his right ACL.
Yeah.
And then literally just this past week, Kev, he just got back in. He tears his left ACL.
Yep.
So I think what I was going after was that, the stronger these guys get, the more capable they get. There's still parts of the human body that aren't capable of keeping up.
Correct.
And that's the problem, is that it doesn't even take getting hit, right?
Right.
Or the hits aren't really as bad as some of the hits out there.
Yeah.
But because they're set a certain way, or they're in the right stance or whatever, and it's that tendon, or it's that it's typically a tendon, or it's a muscle, it's a or a bone,
right,
that's just not capable of keeping up with the rest.
Right. And
it just seems like it happens so easy.
And I left one off the list. Nick Chubb, Jack, you remember Nick Chubb? He blew out
I
his
do.
knee. He actually tore that knee in college on a hit similar to what he took in the game that he got hurt on. So the NFL has tried to make the league safer. So you can't lead with the crown of the helmet. We talked about this. You can't lead with the crown of the helmet. You have to, when you tackle, you can't tackle. You have to be looking up, and you can't hit above the shoulder pads, so you can't hit in the head. So guys are starting to go low. So they're hitting guys in the knees and the guys in the thighs. So if your leg is planted and you get hit in the knee, you're definitely tearing tendons right there. I don't see how the NFL, and it would suck if this happens. I don't see how they can continue doing stuff that they're doing. They're going to have to go to something different. Do they go to touch football? It would suck, but guys wouldn't get hurt as often. So, and we're talking guys are getting season ending. Some guys are getting career ending injuries. Nick Chubb could be done for his career because that's the same knee. He tore all 3 ligaments twice in the same knee.
What gets me is that there's guys coming back from an Achilles tendon injury. I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah. Guys are coming back. They're talking. Aaron Rodgers is talking about coming back this year. I saw
that interview. Yeah. I saw that, and he's talking about how he might be back, and I'm just like, how is that possible? What did they do? What did they fucking stitch that back together with? Right. What kind of super glue are they using?
My mom tore her Achilles tendon. Now, just walking, she tore it. She's not an athlete. She's not a football player. And what they did was, and this is going to sound gross, is they actually drilled a hole in her bone in the bottom of her ankle and pulled the tendon through and screwed it there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, when I did my ACL, what they had to do was they harvested from the patellar tendon, they harvested a piece of the tendon with bone at the top and the bottom. And what they do is they lace it through, they drill holes and they lace it through so that the bone connects on either end. And that's how it reattaches. It's mind-blowing how they do it. It's never going to be as strong as it was before. It doesn't matter what you do.
Right.
It's never going to be as strong. You're always going to have the opportunity of doing it again. But to do it, the Achilles has so much more that it's doing than an ACL or an MCL for that matter. And that just blows my mind that they can repair that. I just wonder what it is they're doing.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I got. I just had to ask. I had to ask Paul a question real quick. So, do you think that with NXT last on Tuesday night with Cody Rhodes and John Cena and LA Knight, all those guys being there, do you think that was done because Dynamite was on?
Absolutely.
And Copeland was there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see the ratings because they really want to. They think they feel AEW has a false sense of security because there's no competition on Wednesday nights, and I think they wanted to show, hey, you guys really aren't doing as well as you thought you were.
Right.
I thought I saw them earlier, the ratings, and I think NXT tripled what Dynamite got.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that. I've never watched NXT. Well, I tried watching it once and just gave up. I watched NXT last night.
Yeah, I didn't. I had someone texting me updates.
I did.
It's a lot better than I thought it was. I like the intimate atmosphere, like the smaller crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And those are probably, since it's in the same place, those people probably, they're regulars. You know, it's kind of what you get with the old territory wrestling with people that go to every single show. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I just didn't get to. I think we were actually watching Loki.
I have to watch that.
Yeah. But speaking of, it sounds like it's a good time for us to move right along to trivia time with Jack. Hit it.
All right, so everybody, we have trivia going, but one guess, and then we're gonna make it interesting. 15 seconds. So think fast. All right, Kev, 1 through 4. 4. Where was Bram Stoker, the author of the classic Dracula, author from? Where was the author from? The classic author from for Dracula? What country was he from?
England.
No.
Yeah,
Does anybody want to take a guess to see who gets the most trivia tonight?
No, I lost.
I'm stuck with you calling him Bram Stoker.
I know.
Isn't it Bram
It's a
Stoker?
bad porn name.
Yes. Bram Stoker, the porn name. That's a good
Bram Stoker's Dicula.
Yes. Thank you. Do you know where he's from, Hugh?
No, I don't.
Ireland.
Okay.
Okay.
That was
How
close.
about kind of, yeah. All right. Paul, 1, 2, or 3?
3.
All right. What root vegetable was traditionally used to carve jack-o'-lanterns? So what type of vegetable was used to carve jack-o'-lanterns?
Turnips.
Correct. Very
Wow.
good. And you got right in the time frame. That was very good.
Shit.
I
No,
know,
it was
right?
not shit. It was turnips.
Maybe shitty turnips. I don't know. All right.
Well, they're planted in
Corbs.
shit, so it's
And
close.
they taste like shit, so.
Oh, it tastes horrible.
Yeah, they're awful. Yeah. All right, Corbs, 1 or 2?
2.
You bastard.
You bastard!
All right, here you go. What spice will you not find in Mexican hot chocolate?
Chili powder.
No. Does anybody want to take a guess?
Baby
Will not-
spice.
Garlic.
Not garlic, but that's a good guess. That's what
You
I
said
thought.
what you will not find.
I know. And the
You will
answer
not
is
find.
no.
Go
The
ahead.
answer is ginger.
Ginger spice. Oh, that was one of them. Huh.
It was actually. All right, one for you, Hugh. So you have you have 50 guesses basically. You have 50 tries at this.
No,
What state is the largest pumpkin? Where can you find the largest pumpkins in the United States?
Oh, I don't fucking know. Wisconsin.
No.
Okay. What's the answer?
Illinois.
All right.
All right. So
That makes sense. Illinois,
does.
Haddonfield, Halloween, Michael Myers.
Yeah. All right. Last little thing. In 1958, an unnamed U.S. space probe called the Pioneer 1 was launched. In 1971, the British musician John Lennon released Imagine, a song about peace and hope. And in 1984, American astronaut Catherine Sullivan was the first woman in space. And then some famous birthdays. Joan Cusack is 61. Our boy Lenny James is 58. And then Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates is 77 years old.
Looks every day of it.
Exactly. Back to you, Paul.
All right, thanks. So I think it's time I drop the weekly topic on you guys. We're getting into the Halloween season, so I'm gonna try and start gearing them that way. What do you guys think is the most underrated Halloween or horror film or TV show? I think that's how I texted it to you guys. And the boys will answer that when we come back from the break. Stick with us, guys. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Hi, this is Craig Palmer. If you ever aspire to be a wrestler, come on down to Upstate Wrestling Entertainment, located at 1121 Glenwood Ave in United, New York. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. Come on down and join us. See you then.
And that music means it's time for the weekly topic. Let me reiterate. What is the most underrated Halloween or horror film / TV show to you? Take it away, Hugh.
I don't know if it's the most underrated because we had a whole 10 minutes to think about this. But I did think about one. I settled on. You guys might not even have seen it. It's a 1990 movie starring Jeff Goldblum called Mr. Frost. Basically, an eccentric millionaire, or I don't know if he's a millionaire, he's in a mansion or whatever. Police go to his house. He admits that there's a dead body there. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's quite a few more in the yard. And they eventually find like 24 dead bodies. And they're like, this guy's crazy. They put him in an asylum. Doesn't speak for 2 years until a cop comes to talk to him to try to, figure out what happened. And the psychiatrist there, it makes some inroads. And basically he says, I'm Satan. And you think he's a crazy guy, but as the movie goes on, it becomes more and more apparent that he actually might be who he says he is. And not a lot of people love the movie. I mean, it didn't get rave reviews. The thing that most people say saves it is Jeff Goldblum's performance. And, this is early in his career, and he really does carry the movie. Jeff Goldblum playing Satan, come the fuck on. How is that not a good time? I always loved that movie. It was one of the earlier horror movies I saw when I was a teenager. And I think it's severely underrated because nobody ever brings it up. I'm probably the only person who's going to talk about that movie on a podcast this year. I bet you money.
Outstanding.
Jeff Goldblum, Mr. Chaos Theory himself.
Somebody
Okay.
else go.
Somebody jump in.
All right, whatever. Go,
I
you got
just
one,
said
Kev?
Zombie Land. I don't know. I
Why do you think that's underrated?
don't know because I thought it was pretty funny. I think it's a pretty funny movie.
It is.
I think some people just think it's too much of a zombie movie.
Okay.
And it's really just a comedy.
I guess for the one I would think I can't get it out. All right. I remember when I was had to be 6 or 7 years old, my parents were out for the night and my brother was watching me, and my parents had a TV in their bedroom. So I was like, okay, I want to sneak into my parents' room and watch TV at night because it's midnight. My parents aren't home yet. I was like, let's put a movie on. And it was on Channel 4. I don't know what Channel 4 was, but it was between NBC and CBS where I am. So Channel 4 was our channel. And 1992, this movie came out. So I wanted to see what year it was. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So that movie scares the shit out of me to this day still. It's like, holy shit, this movie is so scary. This lady's husband dies. Does she kill him or does he die? But I forget a little bit of it. But she tries to assert herself in this family and all that. It's like, lets a greenhouse fall on somebody. It's like, holy shit, this movie's fucking twisted as shit. The little kids, like she's trying to assert herself as the mom. She even breastfeeds the baby at one point in the movie. It's like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah, that movie still freaks me out, and it's still a good underrated Halloween movie. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Nice. Corbs.
I'm gonna go with Idle Hands.
Oh, such a great
Good
movie.
one.
So
That is a good answer.
You can't really go wrong with Devin Swan, Jessica Alba, Seth Green, Vivica Fox. They're all in that movie. It's about a guy whose hand becomes possessed with a demon. He's a stoner.
High school kid.
Yeah. He's a stoner. Ends up his hand ends up killing his two best friends, Seth Green being one of them. And the two dead kids, they, instead of going towards the light, they stay and walk around as zombies, but nobody knows that they're there. I think that's the
I think they're like ghosts. Yeah.
They're ghosts. They're there and they're fucking with Devin Swan's character, trying to help him out, stuff like that. So he ends up cutting his own hand off, and the hand goes berserk and kills a bunch of people and shit like that. So
Yeah.
it's weird. It's funny. I don't know. It's one of the movies that I enjoy. I mean, you can't go wrong with that movie with Jessica Alba in it. So
No. The tiny little dress at the school dance. All right. So I think I reached the farthest back out of all of us here, and I'm gonna go with Monster Squad.
Wolfman's got nards.
Yes. I love that movie. And I think the only reason it's even in my sphere of reference these days is because I know it's about to get a Blu-ray release next month. So that put it right back in my attention span. That's put here. And really love that movie. I haven't seen it in years, so that's probably gonna get added to the streaming collection before too long. Might be streaming during the Halloween party this year, just saying. And that's mine. So that's a good list.
I have one more.
You have an honorary mention?
Yeah, I do. Transylvania 65000.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's all you gotta say. Everybody knows. You mentioned Jeff Goldblum, so I wanted to throw that one in there.
Outstanding. All right, well, let's keep it moving. Guys, what are you watching?
I finished Ahsoka.
Me too.
So did we.
Yep, I think Jack's been chomping at the bit to finish this discussion now that everybody's gotten through it. Hugh, you finished it, right? Probably the week of. Yeah.
Don't
Jack,
ever
lead it
go
off, buddy.
first.
Oh, you want? Oh, I thought Corbs was gonna lead off because he want. No.
I just said
Oh,
I finished
Jesus.
it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Corbs. You said Ahsoka. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I just said I finished it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I know now what Kevin was talking about, wanting to find out what happens with the characters at the end there. I mean, I was talking to my son about it. They're all on the same planet and they all have like the Force. Why can't they just figure out that they're all still there and meet up? That's my
season 2. Yeah.
That's my thing. I mean, Ray Stevens' character and the other girl, they're obviously together, like they're master and apprentice. Why can't they should be able to sense that they're both there? So
yeah. Kev, you want to speak for both of us because I think we're gonna say the similar things. But
so I mean, Ray Stevens' character is going to continue, even though Ray is no longer with us. But there's a lot going on Pridia, and there's a huge revelation coming. If you guys haven't been watching the spoilers, Easter egg stuff on YouTube, and there's a bunch of them. I mean, whether you watch New Rock Stars or something else, there's an awful lot that can be unwrapped in this story. And to think about where this is going is, I mean, potentially just, it's Filoni-ish, you know. You let Filoni loose on some of the stuff, and he's just going to wrap stuff like all over the place. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see what Balin Skull was looking at, what that light was off in the distance. Very interesting to think about. The owl, Ahsoka's owl showed back up. Anakin's Force Ghost. I mean, there's so much. Peridia is the source of tremendous power of some sort, and it was enough to scare off the Dathmiri witches, but not to scare off somebody like Balin Skull or somebody like Ahsoka. So, very interesting to see what's going on.
How awesome though for Ray Stevenson though, like R.I.P. We're really gonna miss him, but what he's standing behind though, something so powerful in the Star Wars universe, like that's a powerful ending. He had no words in the last episode, so it was just like if you watch Clone Wars and Rebels, like you know what he's standing behind for sure. That just like shows like my brother's like, oh yeah, that's why I watched Rebels and Clone Wars. I'm like, I told you to watch that shit. So literally, it's so cool, like because it's a live action now. Is gonna do something so iconic. It's like what Kev just said. Ahsoka's owl, Lars Mikkelsen playing Thrawn, which is so cool, and Ezra building his new lightsaber. The hilt, like belonged to Kanan Jarrus. He had two of them. The what's the robot's name again? I forget.
David Tennant. Oh, not that one.
Hu Yang.
Yes, but it's just so cool though because they say Zeb is training troops. It's like, come on, give us Zeb in season 2. We need Zeb to come back to the ghost ship. But it's just endless. Like what Kev said, it's Filoni-ish. It's just so amazing. Like Dave Filoni confirms right now. He's like, "Oh, we're not greenlit for season 2 yet." Bullshit. You're gonna have season 2, but probably not till 2025 or 2026 with this damn writer's strike. But no, it's just so cool how they did that. There was 8 episodes. Yeah, I'm kind of like turning to Kev. I've watched them all like 3 times now, so all the way through. So it's just very, very well done. It's a great show. It's a great storytelling, but I'm just excited to see what's going to happen next. Like we can talk about this a whole episode, but there's other things to watch into.
There's so much. There's so much to unwrap, and it's wicked cool to see all the stuff that's hidden that you just don't. And it isn't even about watching the Clone Wars and Rebels. It's about unwrapping things that touch so many things in Star Wars history, books, novels, stories that we didn't think were going to be canon and now are. And it's just so freaking cool. Fucking all right, yeah. Filoni's a genius. That's all I got to say.
I was happy to see Claudia Black back on TV as she was the head night mother. When she came on screen, I was like, holy shit, that's Vala from Stargate. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to talk about it at length as you guys did. I do want to ask, did anybody notice that the visual effects were fucking awful when she jumped onto the ship and hit the ground and rolled? I like rewound that like 3 times. I was like, oof, that was bad.
I saw that.
They had to make concessions somewhere. They had enough other shit going on. But
Yeah.
only thing I got to say about it that hasn't been addressed already, zombie stormtroopers.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that was cool.
That plays into, is there a video game or something that uses the zombie stormtroopers?
There was a novel called Death Trooper, and that had something to
Yeah.
do with them. I know that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Very
and
interesting.
I like the fact that they were, and I pointed out an episode or 2 before to the family, making a joke that all the stormtroopers were held together with duct tape, with the red wrappings on all of them.
My son said the same thing.
Well, I had said that early on. I go, Kathy, I said, I'm almost positive that the majority of these stormtroopers are dead, and they've been resurrected. We found out that was not the case as they were wiped out by, Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine. But I wasn't surprised that the Night Sisters resurrected the ones that they did. And just amazing, just absolutely amazing. I want to end with this one thought. Is it Peridia, or is it possible that anyone with the right training can learn how to focus the Force when they really need it?
A good question. I guess we'll see. Well, no, she's still there. So
I was wondering what you guys who all watched Rebels thought. I don't want to like create a casting controversy because I don't care about the color of the skin or anything, but I don't know Rebels and all that very well. But we haven't talked about this since Ezra showed up on screen, and I was surprised by the curliness of his hair.
that we didn't see in animation. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not mistaking that, right?
No.
You're not.
Because I've seen pictures, I know what he looks like from pictures, and everyone else looks like they did in the cartoon, I think. But he comes out, and I'm like, oh, that's Ezra. Totally expecting something different.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I said it before. Hera and Sabine are much taller than what they should be. It's just you gotta put actors in live action, and you're going to get close or you're not. I'm thoroughly convinced that all of the actors that they chose were the right actors for the show. After what I saw in episode 8, I have absolutely no qualms about anything that I saw.
I just wonder if anybody said, hey, maybe we should straighten his hair.
They could have given him back to like the 90s skater guy haircut that he had in the first season of Rebels.
Yeah, the longer hair, yeah.
But it worked.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't whatever. It was fine with me. I didn't care.
I think the reason that I thought about it is this isn't as much an adaptation as it is a direct sequel to that cartoon, which kind of puts it in different territory than other properties that have been adapted.
No question. Yeah, this is a direct, this is what happens next. Yeah.
Outstanding. The only other one I have is the beginning of Loki season 2, but it sounds like Jack hasn't gotten into it yet. So I'm not going to say much more than I really enjoyed the first episode. That was cool.
Was it good though? Spoiler free. Did you like it?
I did. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
So
is it as nuanced as the original, as the first season?
Yes.
Because we talked about so many different things that were like popping up, little Easter eggs and whatever.
Yeah, I didn't catch a lot of Easter eggs yet, but it's a very, very layered plot for season 2.
New Rockstars is doing breakdowns of that also.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones too, but I happen to notice it.
Cool.
I got one more movie to throw in there for you. I watched a movie from 1989 that I wanted to see for a while called Parenthood. Has anyone ever seen that one?
I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
It was actually really good. So it stars Steve Martin, Jason Robbins, Rick Moranis, Diane Wiest, Mary Steinbrenner, and a very young Keanu Reeves and a very young Joaquin Phoenix. So I thought this was really cool. It's a plot of 4 children. They raise their kids through the highs and lows and all that of parenting and all that. So there's different dynamics. Like there's all different plots. So it was really cool. A lot of drama, a lot of comedy. One funny part, though, I thought was kind of funny. Rick Moranis is married to Steve Martin's sister. So they're just talking about like how like all the girls are in the kitchen while the guys are having a beer or something like that. She's like, yeah, when he's stressed, I just give him head right on the throughway. I just do something like that. It just relieves his tension. So during the scene, Mary Steinberg's part is married to Steve Martin, and they have 4 kids. He's like, I'm just so stressed. I just can't do this. I'm just so stressed. I can't be a parent. Like he's freaking out. And Mary Steinbrenner is like, oh, you're stressed, honey. How can I help? He's like, I don't know. She's like, hold on, I'll help you. Of course, you don't see it, but like they go to the next scene. The car is wrapped around a telephone pole. So literally, the cop comes up to them and she's like, what do I do? What do I do? And like, so the cop's like, so how did this happen? Steve Martin looks at his wife. Yeah, honey, how did this happen? So that was a good movie. Another funny part was one of the kids was like, I had to write this down, so good. He was like, what's that coming out of your ass? Diarrhea. What is that gross stuff coming out of your ass? Diarrhea. What is dripping and smelling down your leg? Diarrhea. So it was just a stupid song, but from 1989, it's on Amazon Prime. If you got like $3-4, rent it. It's a really funny movie. Really good. Like highs and lows of parenting. I'm not a parent yet, but you guys that are parents, you're like, yeah, I get these stories. But it was just a really, really good movie.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
All right.
But like Steve Martin, though, he's like, yeah, honey, how did that happen? And she's like, and it was just really, really good. That's all.
I will keep it short. I just want to point out that Apple TV has gotten really, really good. And I didn't realize how many awesome shows they were putting out. I've talked about Servant, 4 seasons of Servant. It was fantastic. They've now been making headlines with this new show, Changeling, which is a horror themed show as well, which is apparently a total mindfuck. I think next month, Monarch, the Godzilla TV show, which if you haven't seen the trailer, go look at it, looks fucking insane. And we just finished last night Silo, which I saw. I was like, oh, what's that? Once I realized it was based on a book series I read so long ago that I don't even remember what happened, called Wool by Hugh, I believe it was. We finished the 10-episode series last night. Fucking top notch. I cannot wait for season 2. And that's on top. Apple TV is Foundation too, I believe. Yeah, they are just, as far as genre TV goes, they are on fire. I may not like Apple phones or their business practices, but their fucking TV shows are awesome.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. I got a buddy that really wants to see Monarch.
Yeah, Silo is great. Corbs.
So I have a question for you guys.
What?
Did any of you like The Boys on Netflix or on
Prime? Yeah.
Prime.
Yeah.
So some of you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's a spinoff.
Yep.
Gen V.
Oh God.
And it is just as fucked up as The Boys in a really good way. This is freaking fantastic. It's all about the kids that get shot up with that fucking the V stuff there. And they're in college, and it's all about the college they go to and all the freaking shit they get into. I'm telling you, it is freaking fantastic.
Now, Hugh, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this basically the spinoff of Herogasm? Like, isn't this the adaptation?
I don't know, because they did the Herogasm episode last year, and it
okay.
wasn't really as bad as the comic was, and they really just couldn't do what they did in the comic in Herogasm. Okay. So I don't know. I am looking forward to it. This is on my list. We just haven't gotten to it yet.
This is set between season 3 and season 4 of The Boys.
Who's in it, Kev? Are any known actors or no?
No.
Jensen Ackles shows up in it, doesn't he?
Oh,
Yep,
Soldier Boy.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him yet, but I forgot his name. Also played Ryder Azadi in Ahsoka. Also was in
Yeah, the Kurgan.
yeah.
Okay. But this
What's
is
his
on
name?
this is on Prime too, though.
Yeah.
How many episodes are into it? So
Wait,
far?
the Kurgan, Clancy Brown?
Yes.
Yeah, Clancy Brown. Yep.
Clancy Brown. Okay.
Clancy
What were you
Brown.
saying, Kev? How
Yeah.
many episodes?
They're into episode 4 just dropped. So
And about our episode.
yeah, about that.
Okay, I'll put it on my list.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. So it's so
Okay.
good. It's so good. So far, and I hope you watch it, and I hope you see why. But Emma is my favorite. And if you watch it, you'll see why.
All right.
Okay.
I think you will. I don't know. You may have your own favorite, but I think Emma was pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
Okay.
Corbs, what about you?
What about
Anything
me?
else? What else you watching?
TV.
Golf,
Really?
probably.
I do watch a lot of golf. Leave me alone.
He likes his golf.
But I'm not playing golf. I'm watching golf. Go fuck yourself.
I don't know if that was necessary, but
Little Dick Cheney, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
No, I got stuff. I got stuff DVR that I haven't even caught up on yet.
Mhm.
So it's just, of course, with the weather turning, it'll be a lot easier. I mean,
Right.
I binge watched Ahsoka over the weekend. Like I think I started on Thursday night. I watched like 3 episodes Thursday and 2 episodes Friday or something like that because there was just nothing to do.
Gotcha.
So,
All right.
I mean, I'm an episode still on Dead City. I'm 4 episodes behind in Daryl's. There's just not enough time. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then, if we don't got anything else, I think that's going to about wrap it up.
wrapping it up. Yeah, my doctor told me my DNA was backwards. I said,
Yeah.
"And
Oh my god, dumbass.
oh, drop your nuggets, buddy."
All right. So the new breakthrough in science, I don't know if you guys heard about it. Nestled between the frontal lobe and the temporal lobe, scientists have discovered a new section of the brain. You guys heard about this?
No.
They're calling it the Lisa lobe, which reportedly only hears what it wants to. Good night, everybody, and mega fight me, bitches.
Motherfucking peanut butter chicken!
This has been a GeekPod Network production.